We also know that Tom Brady is a big fan of Antonio Brown's and has been pushing to get Antonio on the team with the Buccaneers. There's even articles out there like this one that say that Tom Brady has been pounding the table for the Bucs to sign ex-All-Pro wide receiver. As Antonio Brown's suspension is about to end and there's more buzz, or there's some buzz that Tom Brady will continue to push Tampa Bay to sign the wide receiver, WDAE 95.3 Tampa and their Tom Krasnicki believes Brady is pounding the table behind the scenes for the team to bring in Brown. Now, that's clearly something that is speculation, maybe was passed on third party in regards to what's going on with him. But Tom Brady, you would have to believe, has some influence in this decision being made because the Buccaneers really had no interest in signing Antonio Brown. I think we're all pretty aware of that. But to be fair and to have a kind of a different perspective on this, we take a look at the other team that has been suspected before this signing was just made public. The Seahawks were suspected of also trying to reel in Antonio Brown. And, you know, Russell Wilson, one of the best players in the NFL right now, for me, leading the MVP race as the best player in the NFL. But Antonio Brown has been a topic of discussion by Russell Wilson. And there are a number of quotes that he actually is quoted as saying that are in favor of Antonio Brown getting a second shot. And I'm not somebody who is against second chances. I believe that Antonio Brown does deserve another shot to be back in the NFL. But it's going to be all on him whether or not his story will be a success story or if it will be one of tragic failure. But let's take a look at a couple of these quotes from Russell Wilson in regards to Antonio Brown. He says here, I think Antonio definitely is taking the steps in the right direction. And like I said, nobody's perfect, Wilson said Thursday on ESPN. From the conversations I've had with him, he's really been remorseful and he's been humbled along the way. Like I said, I pray that he can continue to grow just like anybody. That's a fair statement to make. I mean, you can't be mad at Russell Wilson for saying that. Yes, I think we believe that Antonio's been an asshole in his past. Yes, he's done some pretty scumbaggish things. If you're going to believe some lawsuit reports that or lawsuit paperwork that is out there that have been motioned with courts, but nobody has filed any kind of criminal charges against this guy. So we don't know that these are absolutely true stories, but you know, your reputation gets damaged and gets tarnished by those things just as much. So another quote here, Russell Wilson's quoted as saying, I think the reality about Antonio is he's one of the best players to play this game. Obviously, I think that he has always been a special player in terms of on the field. The reality with Antonio is he's had some tough moments in his life, especially as of late. I think he's gone through a lot of things he wishes he could take back and do, and just not say whatever it might be. But I think he's a special player for sure. I don't know what's going to happen with him or not. I don't know how serious it is, us getting him or not. But I do know that obviously he can play some football. I think that's the thing. I've developed a personal relationship with him, and not everybody is perfect. And I think that's the reality. None of us are. So hopefully he gets to play again. You know, second time reading through that, he didn't say a whole lot. If you really break down what Russell Wilson's saying, didn't say a whole lot, didn't really, you know, kind of break down a real perspective other than he can play some football and nobody's perfect. Which, okay, take that for what it is. I'm not going to give him a negative or necessarily give him a plus for that. But, you know, it's a statement that kind of sits neutrally in the, you know, not my decision. I know he's had some tough times. He's a great football player and nobody's perfect. I can, you know, those are pretty par for the course kind of responses to have if you don't have that much in-depth, nuanced detail to speak about. So I'll give you that as far as Russell Wilson is concerned. He also says here at the end, I think he's obviously made some mistakes along the way. There's been a process for that, and he's had to deal with it and go through it. I pray for anybody, honestly, that goes through anything. That's just me. That's my nature personally. I never wish anything bad on anybody. Yeah, Russ Wilson didn't really say much of anything in this entire article. In the quotes that he's attributed to saying, He didn't really say much. I mean, it's not a bad, it's not a negative take. It's just fluff. He's kind of just giving some filler. So I don't know. I'd be a little bit hesitant to say that he's somebody who necessarily would be an authority in regards to whether or not Antonio Brown should be brought to the Seahawks. So I guess, just kind of going off what I read there, I can look at that and say, well, it makes sense now, along with the fact that he knows Tom Brady, that Antonio Brown would sign with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Makes more sense for him. Probably a little bit more in his lane to be with a quarterback like Tom over Russell Wilson. But also, I think one thing that's really important to end with this is that Antonio Brown is going to have to learn one of the notoriously most difficult offensive packages in the NFL. A lot of people talk about the 30 for 30 that Jameis Winston had when he was with the Tampa Bay Bucs last year. But fact of the matter is, when you break down Bruce Arians' offensive scheme, which is based on almost solely the reading of the coverage by the quarterback for the various number of option routes that receivers and tight ends will run based on those coverages, you have to have an offensive staff, an offensive team that is so well in sync that the quarterback knows what to expect based on how he's looking at the coverages. And that's something that can really, bite you in the ass if there's one receiver who isn't always on the same page with the quarterback. Of the 30 interceptions that Jameis Winston threw, about 17 or 18 of those interceptions were actually on Jameis. The rest were actually kind of a mistake by default through the system that they run, because it's very complicated for quarterbacks to run that system successfully. So we'll see if Antonio Brown can adapt to that system as well. I think, obviously he's an amazing talent to have, but if he's going to be a clown, it's just something that I can't really get down with. So let me know what you guys think. Leave your comments down below. What do you think about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers signing Antonio Brown to a one-year deal? How do you think it's going to work out? Does this make them a real contender for the Super Bowl? Let me know what you think down in the comments. Make sure you hit that like button if you haven't already done so. I need more likes on these videos, guys. Got a lot of people coming and checking out these videos. Not enough likes to really boost me up. That algorithm, we were moving strong about 30 days ago. Now we're starting to chug it back a little bit. Hit that like button if you like this video and subscribe to the Observant Lineman, Uche Nwaneri. Appreciate you guys very much for checking out this video on Antonio Brown signing with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I will catch you all on the next one. Peace.